Hey everyone, it's Richard Metalfan here, bringing you guys an old school album review, and today we're going to be going, well, not too far into the past, but to the year 2017. And more in particular, we're going to be talking about the band Archspire with their album Relentless Mutation. This was the band's third album, released on September 22nd, 2017 through Season of Mist Records. Still kicking myself for not actually reviewing this when it first came out, but hey, better late than never, am I right? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Archspire, they're a technical death metal band from Vancouver, Canada, and they formed in 2009. And I discovered Archspire back in 2015 or so, but I wasn't really into them later, but it wasn't until about a couple years later, and then I really started getting into this band. And the last time I saw them was back in 2018. They played with Obscura, Beyond Creation, Inferi, a lot of great technical death metal bands, and this album I think is one of the best tech death albums to come out in the last few years, along with with Where I Will Know My Name by Rivers of Nile, or even albums from Obscura. It's just really great, and Archspire for me just really just showcases what the band can do in terms of like the rhythm and the melody, everything, and they also rely mostly on. And with this album is a perfect example of why they um, rely on the quality of the music and not quantity. In fact, this album is just a 7-track killing spree, and it runs for about half an hour because they're kind of like one of those bands that just say is just less is best. And just really, this album also has like so the great instrumental, like everybody just was really well. And just the vocal work is really great from Ollie Aaron. Like he does like really just kind of like really fast vocals, and just like the way he kind of like enunciates is fucking insane. And just the riffing is great. Like Toby Morelli and Dean Lamb's guitars just really just shows what they can do with the guitars. That they're not like over the top like shreddy and shit, but they just really have like a structure behind it. The bass playing is really prevalent and audible. I think that Jared Smith is like one of the best like current bassists that I've heard, and he's just amazing. And the drumming, Spencer Pruitt's drumming is really just superb. He really keeps the beat. It just really just flows well with the songs. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Involuntarily Doppelganger. Now, this song just really just goes all in and out from here. And from what I heard heard from one other interview I heard, this is like the track order that is like on here is actually the order that the songs were written. Like in Involuntary Doppelganger is the first song, and then the last song, which we'll talk about later, at Dark Horizontal, is the last song written. But Involuntary Doppelganger is just I feel like it really has a great narrative, and it just hits you right square in the face, and just everything from like the intense vocals from Ollie and just like the intense like just in your face riffs is just great. Then we move on to Human Murmuration. Now, Human Murmuration is really where the song that a lot of people discovered this album from, and just really, I think, from what they discovered the band, I feel like really this song has like a melodic intro to it. It has a great melodic start, and I really love how like all these vocals kind of like changes the vibe here, and it just builds up more and more. And it has a great melody, and the guitars and the vocals kind of like rotate in and out. And this song has the structure, but it just has also the organized chaos that Archspire is known for. Um, Moving on to one of my favorite Archspire songs ever, which is Remote Tumor Seeker, which is kind of similar to the last track. It has like a build-up element to it, but at the same time, there's like different elements within sort of like the riffing style. And just one thing I should also note is like the bass playing from Jared Smith. I feel like the bass is just really audible here. And from what I heard, Jared is also a guitar player as well, and he uses like his instruments for like hammer-ons and strumming, kind of similar to a guitar. And it almost feels like Archspire has like a third guitar or as well. And I really just love how he just uses it for while holding down the melody from the guitars, but also keeping up with like the rhythm section from Spencer on the drums. Anyway, moving on to the title track of the album, Relentless Mutation. Now, this song just really took me by surprise, and it's almost kind of like the black sheep on the album. You kind of has like a subtle part, and then it just eventually just kicks right in. It has a very kind of like progressive start, and this is pretty much like one of the only chances you'll catch your breath here, but not for too long. It just throws you right back in with the chaos. A really good song, I should say. Then the next two songs are just really just insane. And starting off with track 5, which is called "The Mimic Well," which is just again boom in your face. It's just absolutely insane. And you have like a great underlying melody, which serves as sort of like the guide to this track. But then in the end, you have like this guitar melody that still doesn't in a way make it peaceful, and just 1 minute it just guides you, but at the same time it's just an all-out brutal song. Calamus Will Animate now it has like a very kind of a cappella intro, which is just one of the hardest things to keep up with it's just really just fast talking, almost kind of like rapping like fast like Eminem or Tech Nine, which is insane. And it also has like a really rhythm in the back. From what I've heard is actually kind of like the sound of machine guns. I heard the band actually recorded it, and it's actually the beat to the song, and it just kicks in with some the snippets of the riffs, and a great song. And then we get to the final track on the album, which is called A Dark Horizontal. Now, I feel like A Dark Horizontal is kind of the icing on the cake. It is actually the most melodic song on here. And when you look at the melody, and it just kicks right in with a very cool riff. And when it gets to the chorus, it has almost kind of like a very atmospheric guitar tone, which carries the rest of the song. And it really has emotion to it, and it doesn't let down with the rhythm. And it pretty much ends on a really consistent note. Now overall, Relentless Mutation by Archspire, another classic, well I wouldn't say classic, it's a really great album that has come out in the last few years in the great tech death genre. So I'm going to give this on a score. I'm going to give Relentless Mutation by Archspire a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, this is an album that you should listen to if you're a fan of like technical death metal, if you're like Obscura, Beyond Creation, bands like that, you'll love this album. So yeah, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.